Hey everyone, so this video is going to be Girl's Guide to Loving Yourself, and this is going to be me talking about being happy and being independent and being just content with yourself for who you are. And I got the idea for this video, which is kind of my number one topic, because I have a lot of friends who will be so sad and depressed and mopey when they're single. But the second that they get with a guy or they start a new relationship, they're all of a sudden like a completely different person, just happy and hyper and giddy. And that's great, and you should be happy in a new relationship, but you should also be happy when you're single. And I know that there are things that make people sad and depressed and all that stuff, but you need to be content within yourself with who you are, and then be able to be in a relationship and be happy. And I know new relationships are full of lust and firsts, and relationships are great, I'm not bashing that at all, but you should be able to be happy when you're alone too. And I see a lot of my friends go through this, and I went through it too. I was with a guy for years, and I would always drop everything for him. I completely lost my identity. We would do everything together. We would do, his interests. We would, he just took control in that relationship, and I completely lost my identity, and one day he left and I was left with nothing. I was basically just a shell of myself. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted out of life. All of my hopes and dreams, I rested in that one person, and that one person left. So what am I supposed to do now? I mean, it took a very long time to build myself back up, and of course I went through the depression and being sad all the time, and it was just kind of grieving the loss of all those hopes and dreams that I had with that person. But I mean, one day I was just laying there, and it just clicked to me that how can I depend my happiness solely on another person? And I'm not bashing anyone here, but I've been with my fair share of guys. That sounded bad. But, 90% of the time it ends, and sometimes it ends badly, and, even if they swear up and down, they might leave, sometimes things just don't work out, and then what? Then you're left alone. But you should be able to be happy alone. You should be able to occupy yourself and know your interests and know everything about yourself so that you can be happy by yourself. And like I said, I went through it, and it was very, very difficult to find myself and find who I am, but you need to be happy by yourself so that you can be happy in a relationship. You don't need this emotional roller coaster, up and down and up and down. I like the hand motion. You shouldn't have to have that. That is not healthy at all. And my number two is the things that make you happy need to be the things that are within yourself rather than the external environment. Being happy is not like going to a party and, being with all your friends and all that stuff. That stuff, yes, makes you happy, and that stuff helps, and that's great to have that support and to have those people. But you should also be happy when you go home alone at the end of the night. You need to be content within yourself and have that inner peace and know that you are a good person, and that you are okay with that you are okay with being alone, that you had a good time, and then you can come home. You should never be having a great time and then coming home and just being depressed. You should just be completely content within yourself. And how I personally did it was I just found my interests. I, tried everything, and, for me, I love doing like yoga and art and stuff like that, and that's really helped me center myself. But there's a million interests out there. I like to do YouTube videos, so that was definitely an interest that I had, like hair and makeup and that sort of stuff. But you just need to find for you what works for you. Happiness can just be you in your room alone dancing and, and listening to music, or it could be, what I do sometimes, which you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I just sit on my bed and lay on my bed and talk to myself. And that's how you get to know yourself and get to know who you are as a person. I journal constantly. I write down, things that happen to me, my feelings, what I think about things, and I feel that that helps me get to know myself, and I can read back over them and see patterns in myself, like what I like to do and what I didn't like, and just kind of form my own identity. And that really, really helped me, and it's just about just completely being you and not having to pretend or not having to cater to anyone else, and just being yourself. And you can do this when you're in a relationship. Just be yourself, and then the other person will be able to accept you more and not try to, it should be an us and then a you and then that other person. It should never just be, you're attached to the hip, two combining into one. And the other thing is you should never rely on others for feedback. And this kind of goes along with everything in life. If someone says something bad about you, you just need to brush it off. Like my friend always says, what other people say behind your back is none of your business. And that is so true. If someone's going to be mean to you, if someone's going to say bad things about you, they can just go fuck off. Like, it doesn't even matter. You should just be content within yourself and know that you are a good and beautiful person and that you don't need anyone else to tell you that you are wonderful for you to believe that you are wonderful. And I mean, I'll tell you that you are wonderful. Seriously. But there are mean people out there, and you just need to know that what other people say about you doesn't define who you are. You need to pat yourself on the back. If you do a good job, you need to let yourself know that you did a good job. You can't look at the negative. You have to always be positive, always be optimistic, always know that there is a tomorrow, always know, always know that you can be who you are, and people should be able to accept that. And if they can't, they can go away. It doesn't even matter. You need to surround yourself with positive people so that they let you be yourself and be who you are. And like I said before, you have to be happy alone before you can be happy with another person. It should never be that single depressed, and then when you're with someone, you're so happy. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and it's something that I know society pushes and pushes, and TV pushes and pushes, and, movies and books, but it's not about that romance. It's not about being with someone. All that stuff is mostly fake and non-existent. Relationships are hard, and you have to work on them, but you need to work on the relationship with yourself first. And I was watching Jersey Shore the other day, and Snooki made a list of everything that she wanted in a guy, and I just thought that that was a good idea. You should never settle for someone just because you want to be with someone and you think that it'll make you happy. You need standards. You need, even Snooki has standards. She has a list. I mean, just make a list and, and don't settle for someone who doesn't have what you want. And sometimes it's about more of the attraction. Like, you can have a list of the perfect person, and if you meet the perfect person, you may not be attracted to them. But you need to just weigh out your options and not just be with someone because you don't want to be alone. And I see that all the time, and it just makes me so sad because it shouldn't be that way. And the last thing I just wanted to say was, you have to live with yourself until the day you die. You can pick and choose your friends and who you date and who you want to be with, but yourself, I'm sorry, is who you have to be with for the rest of your life. You need to take care of yourself, and you need to love who you are. You need to get to know your emotions. You need to get to know every little tiny thing about yourself so that you can be happy with who you are, because if you're not happy with the person who you were with 24/7, how are you going to be happy with another person? I'm sorry, I'm going to go into like a coughing fit. But seriously, you just need to know yourself and love yourself so that you are able to surround yourself with people who help you. And you help them in turn, but you shouldn't be surrounding yourself with toxic people who don't let you be yourself. So that's basically the video. I hope that this was helpful. Basically, all I'm saying is you need to be strong, happy, and independent young women, and honestly, those are the bravest, the best people. Strong single ladies are just so attractive to guys, and you will find a guy in no time if you were just happy with yourself. It just radiates outwards. Just be happy within yourself, and happiness, external happiness will find you. So that's all I have to say about this. If you have any comments, please leave them below. And I'm dying right now, and have a great day. Bye, everyone.